Well, greetings and salutations, one and all, to a brand new show here at the Super Review Show. We are starting something new here tonight. We're going to be talking about comic books live here on the Super Review Show. I am joined by the esteemed panel of panelists here, of course. Bill Murphy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing well. Justin, Dr. Justin Favar, how are you doing tonight?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait to try this out.
Awesome. And Vinny, our established fan and friend, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing good. So just a little bit of a preamble before we get going. Before we started a couple weeks ago, I think it was earlier last week, we said, I think it's time we start a new show at the Super Review Show, strictly talking about comic books. Because I done comic book talk on our YouTube channel years ago when comic book movies were coming out. I would discuss stuff like from IDW Publishing. I discussed stuff from Dark Horse, DC, Marvel, you name it. But I think I approached Justin about it. I said, maybe it's time we start a third show here. And let's talk about and break down Superman Action Comics number 775. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way? This is something that Justin wanted to bring up to our attention. So, Justin, it's your show right now. What do you got, bud?
Yeah, so welcome one and all to the Journey into Mystery Comic Club.
Yes, sir.
Every week or so, or however we schedule this out, we're going to be reading a new comic, sort of like a book club. And we're going to gather here and discuss what we liked, what we didn't like, the themes that we found interesting. We'll talk about the art. We'll talk about the times.
Should be
It's
fun.
gonna be a fun time.
Should be a fun time indeed. For those of you who watch us live, good for you. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about this run of this story of what's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way. I mean, this is Justin. I don't want to steal your thunder, but why don't you go first on this one? So, what do you got for this comic?
So it's funny because my introduction to this comic was actually not a comic. It was actually an animated movie that is based on this comic. It was called Superman versus the Elite, and it was produced by the late great Dwayne McDuffie, who a lot of you probably know as the creator of Milestone Comics, Dakotaverse, was huge in the making of the Justice League animated series in the 2000s. And he did a really, really amazing, albeit expanded adaptation of this comic. They made he made the Elite a little more sympathetic. Like at first they were trying to learn from Superman, but in this they come on as a threat right from the get-go, which I thought that was very interesting when I first read that. But what really struck me as interesting was how quickly so many people were willing to embrace the Elite and their brand of heroics. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that.
Oh, do you mind if I
Yeah, Vinny, go ahead.
So when I had read the comic relatively recently, but I was thinking about, like, especially with the debating among the people among whether the Elite were doing good or wrong, it really made me think. As it reminds me of the current day, there's this divisive group of people. It very much is relevant in the current day. What they consider heroics, vigilante justice, and even Superman was like beginning to question it. But man, they were a great foil for what Superman believes in, and he really could not it's so difficult to describe because I'm not the biggest comic guy, but I loved the way they handled this.
Mm.
Really did.
Yeah, Joe Kelly, who's the writer on this book, he really did an amazing job. For those of you who don't know, Joe Kelly is the guy who really developed Deadpool into the character he is today.
Yeah.
The smart aleck, fourth wall breaking, mark with a mouth. And he's also the current writer on Spider-Man. For those of you who don't know.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, it really struck me as interesting how easy when the people are debating amongst themselves on if the elite are the way to go. Give me 1 second, guys. Can you talk among yourselves?
Sure, do what you gotta do. Vinny, what
Yeah.
else did you like about this comic book?
I like the way they ended it. I did like the art was really good too. I thought it was very well drawn. The parts of the beginning with the Daily Planet were good. The whole thing in general was really, really interesting to me. Especially
Yeah.
because this came out apparently in March 2001.
Mm.
And I'm shocked it didn't become more relevant after the terrible thing that happened September 11th, 2001, because it definitely was the sort of thing we needed at that time. After that, something more serious, but something to give us hope. And Superman always been very good at giving people hope.
Of course he has, because he's Superman.
Exactly.
There you go. See? Well, what else can you do?
Yeah.
So, me personally, I've always been a big fan of Superman and him as a character, but truthfully, this comic book really showed this comic really showed how he can be. I'm drawing a blank here. What do you call it, Vinny? Vinny.
It shows like how we can be challenged.
Thank you.
And how
I
to
couldn't think of the
overcome
word.
the challenge.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word there. Thank you for that. So it's a very interesting run, of course. I will say too, the artwork. I mean, Vinny and I were talking about the artwork before. The artwork from we were talking about the '90s run of stuff too. But yeah, this is just a really solid. I would almost say this is an underrated story as far as Superman goes. You know what I mean? I mean, out of all the great Superman stories and stuff like that, this is definitely an underrated one in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, the art is leagues ahead of other certain. It's really good for its time.
yeah,
So that's the thing you wouldn't expect the sort of, especially for the time. There was a lot of like late 90s had terrible art in certain cases. This is very well drawn. I like the way it was drawn quite a bit.
yeah, the artwork is really good,
Yeah.
especially for the time too. It's like 2001. So, and there's Lex Luthor, of course. For those who watch this live, good for you. Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you, Bill? Do you have anything for this at all?
Get back to me.
Okay, you know worries. Vinny, anything else you want to share before Justin?
I wish I don't know exactly know what was with Lex Luthor in this comic. I don't know what his role was, but it was interesting to have him in there. Keep some conscience, keep some sort of stuff, have some sort of tie to the old Superman. This kind of feels like and as Justin also said, it kind of feels like a statement against like these sort of superhero anti-hero teams in the 90s, like from Image Comics. Definitely seems like a way to poke fun to an extent at these overly serious anti-hero types, as the 90s had in spades in comics. They had in droves too, but man, these guys seem formidable. But the ending really puts it all into perspective.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's
you have anything else to say about it, JT?
No, I mean, I didn't really have too much else to say on it. I did enjoy I enjoyed the story. Needless to say, though, I enjoyed hearing and seeing what they had to offer with Superman and how it was at the time. And yeah. I mean, there's not much else I can go on about it until Justin can come back. So he's going to do something
Yeah,
real quick.
exactly.
No, this is definitely something unique. But the storyline, Justin's our comic expert. That's why we wanted to start something new tonight. We're a little bit rocky on it, but that's okay. So,
Yes. 1 second. Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
yeah, I did too. Bill, but I know you were skimming over and a little bit of reading it beforehand. What did you think about it?
I think it was very interesting. I like some of the themes in it, and I like some of the themes in it. It basically optimism versus nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
How Superman sort of represents hope and optimism, and the Elite represents nihilism.
Mm.
That's a really good point, Bill.
How the Elite represents just, when Manchester Black goes, yeah, I used to like heroes, but I don't use that word anymore.
Mm.
Basically thinking that, hey, the world is basically a screwed up place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
sense.
at the end, when Superman says, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way is not just a dream.
Yeah.
How Superman still represents that hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm giving a philosophical lecture about a comic book.
No, you're doing good. Don't worry. You're doing great.
But the art style is very interesting. And when Justin comes back, I'm sure we'll get more into the themes and stuff. But I like the art style is very interesting. And listen, I'm going to be honest. It took me a couple times to read this because I have comprehension issues. So it took me.
Took a little
I'm
time.
still trying to figure this out.
Yeah, no worries.
And how Superman is sort of having doubts in him, that he's having doubts in himself.
Yeah.
About do they still want people like me?
Yeah. He brought up when he was Lois, yeah.
Do they still want people like me? Or do they want people like the Elite who just kill people and don't ask questions?
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Are the Elite really the bad guys?
In my opinion, they're misguided.
Yeah.
I know Justin said there was a movie and they made a movie, Superman versus they're a little more sympathetic. In this case, it's a really difficult call because, I mean, you know what they're doing. They're getting rid of these terrible people. But then again, that brings up a whole different conversation about, as you were saying, optimism versus nihilism. And also, is vigilante justice worth it? Because I would have, there's a point, I'll say this much, where I would have completely agreed with the Elite on this one. This kind of has turned the tide for me on that one, on that fact. People are worth saving. They really are.
You think so?
I think so.
I agree. We as a species really do need to. Superman is the ideal. If Superman is the ideal we have to strive by, we should strive by it. That's definitely a very important thing about him.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So, I'm just waiting for Justin to come back. I'm not sure where he went. Bill, if you want to text him, oh no, he's on his phone. So, now this is a really good, it's a really unique story. Needless to say,
Come on, Justin. We need you back here, dude.
It was also interesting, Manchester Black with his purple hair and his Union Jack shirt. Very interesting contrast, and especially at the end with compared to how he is as a leader, and then he just what was I saying? Then he's cowering at the end part where with Superman's battle against the Elite. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you'd think, and you can tell at that ending, you'd think that Superman done what they did and just straight up ended them as life forms. But Superman, of course, being the man he is, he didn't. He actually did not do what you'd expect. He didn't just end them. He found a way to do it without having to kill, without having to end anybody. He found a way to show them for what they were, and not only that, he fought them, and there was no casualties. He didn't want. That's one thing Superman did not like from I could tell, the casualties. He found a way to do it without that. So,
Yeah,
Superman was right.
I agree.
Just a second.
Take your time. I think Vinny's really hitting the nail on the head here. So
Yeah. I don't want to take this. I don't want to completely upstage Justin though, so I will wait for him to come back before I have anything else to say.
no worries. Yep. Bill, do you have any other comments about the artwork at all?
No, I think it's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. But wait, since when does Superman not kill people?
I thought I could have. That's the thing, and man, I could have sworn he was not a killer. Very much like Batman. So no, remember that Man of Steel movie, which was not that good, when Superman was all upset about how he did to General Zod.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And like, listen,
Yeah, Superman.
I'm with you. I wasn't a fan of Man of Steel. I'm with you.
Who was product placement? I liked it at one point, but
The man sitting across from us.
you liked it, JJ?
I actually really did.
I mean, there were certain things I liked about it. Certain things were a little heavy-handed, but I gotta admit, Superman killing Zod, that's not in character for him. It just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you know what? And I'll just say this. Like, here is some of the controversial stuff I'll defend.
Yeah.
Like when Superman saves the bus and Papa Ken is chastising him, and he's like, "What was I supposed to do? Let them die?" And he's like, "I don't know, maybe."
Hey guys, I'm sorry I cut this short, but I kind of need to go help my parents out with stuff.
So do you want us to cover the rest, or do you want to maybe delete this and do this next week?
It's up to you guys.
All right, what do you guys think?
Let's just wrap it up for this week, guys. I think we covered a lot of the topics overall. So
No, but I had more stuff I wanted to talk about. Do you guys just want to?
All right,
You can do a little more.
keep on going. Go on without me.
Oh, it was your idea, so
I'll join you guys for next week. Okay.
what are we doing next week?
We'll discuss in the chat.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
All right, Justin.
All right.
So, all right, see you, Justin. So, Bill, just finish your thoughts really quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Piece of cake.
But no, I think it can. I think it can resort into modern day stuff,
True.
such as when, even into. I'm not getting political here, but I'm getting topical. Like when they say they don't want just bandages and slogans, Clark. They want actual stuff to get done. And you know what? I can kind of compare that, just bear with me, to modern politics in which the people who voted for Obama twice voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Because, listen, I'm not criticizing Obama, nor am I praising Trump. But look at it this way. It's basically the same thing as what they said to Clark. Obama was all hope and change.
Yeah.
And people, I think, were just tired of the nice speeches and the platitudes.
Yeah.
And the slogans in which Trump is like, you know what? Screw all this stuff. Let's actually freaking do things.
Yeah.
But no, again, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's the comparison here. And I think that's kind of the approach that, and the big thing is, it's like, here's the thing that Superman thinks about. here's the thing that Superman thinks about.
Yeah.
Is what they're doing right? Because you got to look at it this way. It's causing people to die.
Yeah.
Innocent people to die is collateral damage. And that's like how some people go into thoughts of well, you know, that's war, either kill or be killed. While others would think, no, that's wrong in every single circumstance.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows also moral ambiguity as well.
Yeah.
So I think this touches on a lot of topics, such as moral ambiguity and black and white, and, you know, whether, you know, again, not getting political, but comparing it to modern politics. Like, do people just don't want to hear the nice slogans anymore? They want to see action done.
Yeah.
And whether that action is good or bad is up to the individual, not us.
Yeah.
Correct.
But again, I'm not generalizing or saying these are my views. I'm just saying that's how some people view things.
Yeah.
So I think there's also the, you know, like we said, optimism versus nihilism. And how Superman is going to continue fighting for truth, justice, and the American way.
I like that. That's good, Bill.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it, huh?
I guess that's it. This is, like I said, guys, this is the start of a new show for us here at the Super Review Show. We're strictly talking about all comic books, storylines, things like that. We will be back next week with a brand new episode of this show, which Journey into Mystery Comic Club. That's what we're calling it. So it should be fun. We want to thank you for watching, listening, however you enjoy us tonight. Again, tune in next week. We're gonna have a new topic, new show, new storyline, whatever we're gonna do, and it's all gonna be good. So I'm excited about this, and Justin will be back fully next week, which is gonna be perfect for us. And I'm very excited to have him back fully next time too. I want to thank the two gentlemen who do this podcast with me at all times. Bill, thank you so much for doing this as well.
No problem.
Vinny, thank you so much for doing this as well.
You're welcome, JT.
And Bill, just a quick plug. You have a sports something?
Sports Insanity podcast. We're available on all platforms. Check us out. The NBA Finals will probably be wrapping up tonight, but we'll see. And also, baseball's in full swing. And, yeah, one of our slow seasons is coming up. So, but stay tuned.
Yes. So, and Vinny is chugging away. And oh, yeah. So we're recording this on Thursday, June 19th. Vinny has a new show coming out on our YouTube channel. Every Friday moving forward, he has Vinny's Music Club. So please, Vinny's Music Club, please check that out on our YouTube channel if you have a chance to check it out too. So yeah, but for all of us here at the TV show, for Journey to Mystery Comic Club, stay safe, take care, and
be awesome.
Be awesome.